Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to explore the hidden psychological advantages of what some might call a scattered mind. We're going to uncover exactly how a mind that feels, well, a bit chaotic is actually uniquely built to master incredibly complex modern systems like multi-tool AI video generation.
Okay, let's dive right into this. If your life right now feels like a museum of half-finished projects, a guitar gathering dust in the corner, a half-coded website on your desktop, or maybe a sudden, intense deep dive into a random new hobby, and you've been labeled chaotic or unfocused because of it, I've got some great news for you. You might actually possess a highly adaptive, unusually sharp mind that is perfectly engineered for the future.
So here is our roadmap for today. First, the hidden sharp mind. Second, protecting your mental energy. Third, the M-shaped creator. And fourth, mastering AI video workflows.
Let's start with Section 1, the hidden sharp mind, uncovering the traits of an unusually active brain.
Society loves to call these traits disorganized or maybe overly thoughtful, but the reality is totally different. Maintaining a messy space? To your mind, that's literally an external map of your ideas. Pausing before you react? That's not hesitation. That is an advanced level of cognitive control where you're actively overriding emotional impulses. And that chronic overthinking? It's actually just your brain running high-level simulations and stress testing concepts. Honestly, these are signs of a brain that prioritizes complex pattern building over superficial appearances.
And this quote absolutely hits the nail on the head. Your internal struggles, like intense overthinking, feeling out of sync with small talk, and a deep hunger for difficult, challenging reading, they aren't flaws at all. They are the heavy lifting of a highly active, simulating mind. Your intelligence just isn't meant to be loud. It's meant to be deep.
Moving on to Section 2, protecting your mental energy, the psychology of social armor and boundaries.
It's really fascinating to contrast societal assumptions with psychological reality. Say you have no profile picture online. Society says you're hiding, but psychology says you're practicing selective access and identity control. Hate hosting guests? You aren't being cold. You're just protecting your sanctuary from performance fatigue. And preferring the winter? People might call that isolated, but you're simply choosing a low-noise environment that doesn't completely deplete your highly sensitive nervous system.
Which brings us to a fantastic concept known as boundary intelligence. By refusing to perform for approval and by valuing your quiet observation over loud visibility, this is what you're practicing. You're reserving your mental energy for deep, authentic engagement. You're not pushing people away, you're just ensuring that when you do connect, it's 100% genuine.
Section 3. The M-shaped creator, thriving in a wicked environment.
For a long time, we were all told to be T-shaped, just have one single specialty. And sure, that works perfectly in a stable, kind environment. But we live in a wicked environment now, where the rules literally change overnight. So if you have too many interests, you aren't failing to specialize. You're building an M-shaped mind. You're creating multiple pillars of depth, bridging diverse skills with strategic redundancy. And that makes you incredibly resilient when technology inevitably shifts.
The crucial takeaway here is that your so-called graveyard of hobbies is absolutely not a waste of time. It's actively training you for far transfer. This is the ultimate skill of synthesizing different tools, mental models, and ideas from totally unrelated fields to create something entirely new. It's not distraction, it's innovation.
Which leads us nicely to Section 4, mastering AI video workflows, the synthesizer in action.
To demonstrate this synthesizer's advantage, let's break down a really complex, multidisciplinary workflow, creating consistent, long-form AI videos. This is exactly where the M-shaped mind shines. An M-shaped creator doesn't freeze up when faced with multiple tools. They easily string these 4 distinct phases into a single creative pipeline. We're going to use ChatGPT for writing, AutoWhisk for imagery, Google AI Studio for audio, and Grok for animation. Let's walk through the whole shebang.
Starting with the story, we instruct ChatGPT to act as a professional writer. We ask it for a 2-minute Disney-style narrative, and then, this is key, we ask it to sequentially link at least 20 visual prompts together. By planning those 20 prompts right out of the gate, we make sure our story flows flawlessly from one scene directly into the next. Next up, we take those 20 visual prompts and drop them into the AutoWhisk Chrome extension. You'll want to specifically select version 7.6.0. When you paste your block of text in there, the tool is smart enough to detect the sequence, and it automatically batch generates and downloads all of your images while you just sit back and relax.
Oh, a super quick but vital technical note here. Make sure you dig into the whisk settings and set your aspect ratio to 16:9.
You definitely want to guarantee that cinematic landscape output for your final video.
Now, here's how we solve the biggest nightmare in AI video generation: character consistency. Before you start batch generating, you have to use the reference images feature. You upload detailed reference images of your characters and ensure you match their names exactly to the names you used in your visual prompts. This forces the AI to keep the face 100% consistent across all 20 shots. It's a real game changer.
For our third pillar, the audio, we bring the story to life using Google AI Studio, which is completely free, by the way. Just select Turn Text into Audio with Gemini. Choose your single speaker and give it a prompt like read aloud in a warm and story tone. That gets you a highly natural, professional-sounding narration.
Moving right along to the animation phase with Grok. Pay really close attention to this part. It's absolutely vital that you go into Grok's settings, click on Behavior, and disable Enable Automatic Video Generation. If you leave that checked, the AI gets to decide how the camera moves. Turning it off gives your adaptive mind full directorial control.
So here is the true Synthesizer's Grok workflow. First, have ChatGPT map your visual prompts to specific professional camera movements, things like pans, dolly zooms, or tracking shots. Then, drag your whisk images directly into Grok and paste that specific camera prompt. And to save yourself massive amounts of time, open 4 to 5 separate browser tabs so you can process multiple clips simultaneously.
Finally, when you pull all of this into your CapCut edit, whatever you do, do not delete the native AI sound effects that Grok generates. Instead, extract that audio and lower it to -25 decibels. This creates a beautifully subtle, natural background ambience that really brings the environment to life, but without ever overpowering your voiceover.
What this entire workflow proves is that your scattered interests are definitely not a liability. Your ability to understand psychology, to learn new tech super quickly, and to appreciate art is the exact cognitive architecture required to weave completely disparate tools into a single, cohesive, and professional vision.
So as you embrace your chaotic curiosity and all those boundary-protecting habits, I want to leave you with this final thought. Look back at your graveyard of hobbies. What seemingly random, previously useless skill from your past is just sitting there, waiting to become the bridge to your next great creation? Thank you so much for exploring this with me today, and keep synthesizing.